Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a single, really electrifying set of source documents, excerpts from Jupiter Outpost, Ross and the Lysari Collective, and we are just plunging straight into a first contact scenario.
And this isn't, a peaceful handshake.
No, not at all. It's a high-stakes meeting where, well, one side is desperate and the other is shimmering.
That's a great way to put it. Our mission here is to just absorb the profound atmosphere, the setting, and all those critical first details of Captain Elena Ross's encounter.
Right, this unexpected meeting with an alien entity way out there near Jupiter's orbit.
Exactly. We really want you to understand the sheer tension that's created by this contrast of human frailty against, well, cosmic power.
And to really get that, you have to start with the environment. I mean, it's just defined by failure.
Absolutely.
The setting is this forgotten, completely empty mining base near Jupiter. And the way the source describes it, it just immediately sets the tone.
It's all about decay, isn't it?
It is. You have these weak numbers flickering on a cracked control screen. And that constant, unreliable drone of an old generator.
It's the kind of soundscape that just screams, abandon all hope.
It really is. It's the sound of your resources just running out.
Yeah.
But amplified by the fact that you're in deep space.
Well, it's an environment that's basically designed to wear down the human spirit before any alien threat even shows up.
That's a good point.
I mean, that hum from the generator, it's supposed to be reassuring, right? But when you know it's old and it's failing...
It just becomes a clock.
Exactly. A clock counting down to total blackout.
And that fragility immediately grounds Captain Elena Ross's situation. So let's unpack her state when we first meet her.
Okay.
She's isolated, she's been alone for weeks, and she's the only person left in this decaying piece of infrastructure.
She is a lone survivor, yes, but the source makes it really clear that she's a soldier.
Right, she's trained for this.
She's trained for this kind of physical endurance, so her isolation is less about, immediate panic.
And more about just sustained psychological pressure.
For sure. We even get that small but really crucial detail of her wiping sweat from her forehead. She's fighting the environment just to stay functional.
So she's physically trained, but the base itself is doing its absolute best to undermine her sanity.
It is.
And the atmosphere shifts from just being isolated to, well, pure dread. The sources describe the silence so beautifully.
You really do.
But it's not the restful piece of space she's experiencing at all.
No, they capture that horror perfectly. The line is, the kind of silence that listened back.
It's chilling.
Yeah. That phrase just elevates the loneliness into a premonition. Ross isn't just alone, she's keenly aware that something is watching her.
An unseen presence in the metal corridors.
And her intuition is telling her this isn't a glitch in her own mind, it's not some ghost of her crewmates.
So the threat is immediately categorized as something entirely alien.
Correct. She senses something, quote, older, colder. This isn't just about, seeing movement in the corner of her eye.
It's deeper.
It's a deep-seated realization that whatever is in there with her is fundamentally not human. It's operating on a completely different scale of existence.
And building that foundation of psychological dread is so essential before we get to the actual physical evidence.
It makes the shift from a feeling to a tangible fact so much more powerful.
Because she has this profound certainty. But like you said, she's a soldier.
Yeah.
And a soldier needs proof before she, commits to using lethal force.
So what was the specific evidence she first tried to rationalize away?
It all centered on what seemed like a repetitive technical error, like a phantom reading.
Okay.
Every single night, the motion sensors consistently picked up activity.
Right near the reactor room.
Always the reactor room. And given the state of the base, it would be logical, even preferable, to just assume it's an equipment failure.
A glitch. Yeah. It's so much easier to believe your machinery is broken than to accept there's an undocumented alien in your most critical room.
Absolutely. She's, hanging on to that technical skepticism for dear life?
But the repetition. Every night, same spot, it forces her to confront the reality that the base isn't malfunctioning.
It's being visited.
And that denial finally crumbles when she gets visual confirmation. She moves her limited resources to the airlock camera and the image.
Confirms everything her intuition had been screaming. What did she see?
The description is striking. It's ethereal, a shape that was tall, thin, and glowing faintly.
So not a shadow, it had its own light.
Exactly. It had luminescence. And this is the definitive moment. Because not only was the shape undocumented, the source is explicit. It was not in the system records.
And it certainly wasn't a member of her lost crew.
No. This is the moment of definitive proof.
And immediately, the survivalist in her gives way to the soldier.
Mm.
We see her turn to the archaic equipment she has left.
We shift straight into desperate preparation. She grabs the one piece of offensive hardware she has, an old plasma rifle.
And the description of this weapon, it just highlights the incredible disparity in power she's facing.
It really does. It hums weakly, quote, almost out of charge.
It's the sci-fi version of bringing a rusted knife to a futuristic gunfight.
It is. I love that detail because it just symbolizes the limits of our presence out there. We're relying on technology that's breaking down.
While the entity she's about to face is capable of deep space travel and avoiding all her detection systems.
But it's her resolve that holds the moment together. Her internal thought, it really emphasizes the soldier's commitment, despite the handicap, she whispers.
Archaic or not, it still works.
Yes. It's a desperate attempt to find confidence in the only tangible defense she has.
And so armed with that failing physical technology, she starts the long, high-tension walk to the reactor chamber.
The narrative pace just slows right down here to build atmosphere.
And the environment itself seems to respond to her march, doesn't it?
Oh, it's unnerving. Every single step echoes through the metal floor, making her progress feel so deliberate and loud.
And those failing lights we mentioned.
They're flickering violently now, as if the base itself was afraid. The base is no longer a shelter.
It's a metallic drum, just amplifying the tension.
So she finally gets to the chamber, the air changes, it's heavy, and that faint hum from the generator is now sort of overlaid by a stronger, more unsettling vibration.
Coming through the walls, she's right on top of it.
And then she sees it in the full light of the chamber, standing right beside the core. This is Kale.
And the visual description is just a complete contrast to Ross's gritty metal reality.
It is. Tell us what Kale looks like. This is the moment where the advanced nature of the collective is fully revealed.
Kale is this tall alien figure, and its form suggests fluidity, not a rigid structure. Its body shimmered like liquid glass.
Almost defying physical classification.
Totally. And its eyes were the only real point of focus, glowing with a strange blue light. It's less a creature and more a phenomenon.
So you have a human, sweating soldier, gripping a failing rifle, staring down an entity that looks like walking liquid energy.
That contrast couldn't be sharper. And the standoff breaks, of course, when Ross asserts the only authority she has left.
She raises that archaic plasma rifle and gives the immediate defensive warning, don't move.
She's treating this as a military threat. Standard human protocol for a confrontation.
But the power dynamic just flips instantly based on Kale's response. Kale acknowledges her, sure, but doesn't react to the rifle as a threat.
No. Instead, the method of communication is the true reveal of their technological gap.
That's the crucial turning point. Kale speaks, quote, not with sound, but inside her mind.
Telepathy. It renders her shouted warning completely useless.
Right. She's communicating in a physical language of violence, and Kale is using a mental language of pure intellect.
She's trying to shout across the vastness of space with static-filled radio, and Kale is using a perfect internal channel.
And through this silent mental communication, Kale identifies itself.
Yes. The entity introduces itself, Kale of the Lysari Collective, and its initial assessment is delivered with this chilling, detached calm.
You are human. Your presence here is unexpected. It's a clinical observation. It's not a threat.
Ross, still running on human protocol, tries to reclaim the ground rules. She insists, you shouldn't be here. This base is off limits. Who are you?
She's clinging to concepts like, property and jurisdiction that clearly mean nothing to the collective.
Kale doesn't even bother arguing over human boundaries. The entity steps closer, emphasizing that physical warnings are irrelevant.
And then delivers the core motivation for their presence near Jupiter.
This is the final insight the source gives us, the truth behind the whole incursion. What is the Lysari Collective doing there?
Kale's parting observation just reframes the entire scenario. We observed your species from afar, but your methods, they fascinate us.
Wow, so that one line pivots the threat from invasion to invasive research.
Exactly. They aren't there to take the reactor. They're there to study us.
It forces us, and her, to completely shift our perception. They weren't interested in the outdated tech of the mining base.
But in the human operating it, they're studying the behavior, the approach, the methodology behind how a species survives under such intense pressure.
So to synthesize this deep dive for you, we've got Captain Ross sweating, isolated, relying on her ancient physical plasma rifle.
Confronting Kale of the Lysari Collective. a being of liquid light who's using advanced telepathic communication.
That contrast between archaic physical action and fluid mental power, that's the heart of the tension.
And this whole high-stakes meeting is happening at a dusty, forgotten outpost right next to the massive, silent presence of Jupiter. The collective's purpose isn't conquest.
It's observation and deep fascination with what we do and how we do it.
Which brings us to the final provocative thought for you to consider as we leave Ross staring down the shimmering observer.
The Lysari Collective is clearly operating at a level that far, far surpasses human technology. They can travel vast distances, communicate telepathically.
They have, as Kale said, observed us from afar, so this raises an important question.
If an intelligence this advanced is looking past our rockets, our computers, our science, why are they specifically fascinated by our methods?
What are the human approaches, whether it's resource allocation or emotional resilience or maybe just sheer stubbornness, that require in-person observation?
What beyond our technology does humanity actually offer the cosmos?
The observation implies there's a uniquely human way of operating that isn't easily replicated or, understood by a hyper-advanced intelligence.
What does that observation mean for the future of contact and for Captain Ross's immediate survival now that she is the subject of their fascination?
That's the ultimate question Ross is left with, isn't it?
Mm.
Are they fascinated by our capacity to endure or our capacity to destroy?
We'll leave you to ponder the nature of that fascination as Captain Ross holds her stance. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today, we are wrestling with a single, really high-intensity source.
Just one excerpt, yeah.
A narrative piece that details this cosmic confrontation, and it sort of forces the universe to reconsider, well, everything it thought it knew about power.
Right.
Our characters, Ethan, Elira, and Cirrus, they've just gotten through this frantic, immediate fight. The Wardens have, temporarily backed off.
Wow.
And Ethan is pushing this immense energy down into the earth, creating this glowing blue protective dome. He's trying to hide their signature.
It's such a great image because it's the ultimate moment of vulnerability, but it's disguised as strength. He's using the link.
His new connection to the prime energy.
Exactly. His brand new connection to create this shield. But in doing so, he's basically just yelling across the cosmos, announcing his presence.
A huge glowing beacon.
A huge beacon. So our mission today is really to analyze the 3 stages of what happens next. How one human confronts the core guardian, which is the literal ancient embodiment of that power, and achieves something totally different. Not conquest, but integration.
And that moment of calm you mentioned, that blue glowing crater, it barely lasts a breath because that energy he's using works. But it works as a beacon. The source just immediately throws us into the terrifying consequence. We go straight from tactical defense to, an existential crisis.
And the response is immediate. And it is vast. The signal of attack isn't a ship, it's not a soldier. It's this sudden, incomprehensible pulse that just shakes the ground, the trees, everything for miles around.
And you see it on the horizon, this collision of lightning and blue energy arcs.
Yeah. And Ethan, he's terrified, but he knows. He realizes the scale of what he's just drawn to them.
It's specific too, isn't it? He understands this isn't some general attack. It's a response tailored to him.
He says it himself.
Yeah.
The core. It's responding to me, to the link.
And Elira, she gives us that necessary scale check. She warns that this thing, whatever it is, it's bigger than the Wardens, bigger than the Vault.
That's a crucial distinction. As the source describes, this absolutely massive shadow descending.
With wings of energy stretching across the whole sky.
The entire sky. We learn who the true antagonist is, and it's Cirrus, the former loyalist, who identifies it. She's trembling, and she says it's the true core guardian.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Why is that adjective true so important here? We've seen Wardens, we've dealt with prime energy before. What does this reveal about the power structure Ethan is up against?
It completely shifts the goalposts. Entirely. The Wardens were... Well, they were functionaries.
Enforcers.
Delegated enforcers, exactly. They represented the application of power. The core guardian, as the source describes it, is the source itself. It embodies the ancient memory, the philosophical mandate of the prime.
So they're no longer fighting soldiers.
They are confronting the ideological and physical origin of the entire system.
And that realization, it crushes him mentally before the Guardian even fully arrives. The air crackles, the forest is bending, and the wind itself is howling with these non-human voices.
Speaking a language no one knows. It's all designed to make a human feel utterly, completely insignificant. And Ethan admits it. He just says, I'm not ready.
He knows it's coming for him.
He feels that primal knowledge, that the Guardian knows he's awake, knows the link exists, and it's coming to reclaim what it sees as its property. It's so overwhelming that even the Warden ships, the ones still hovering way up high, they back off.
This confrontation forces us to look at the nature of power itself, its fragility versus the eternal.
Exactly.
Okay, let's focus now on segment 2, the psychological warfare aspect of this. The core Guardian manifests a being of pure, raw, cosmic energy.
Its wings span for miles. Its eyes are literally described as twin suns. And it delivers this challenge not really as a threat, but more like a statement of fact.
And that voice is crucial.
Oh, absolutely. It resonates in his mind like exploding stars, delivering this calculated psychological attack. And the argument is fundamentally philosophical. It says, you dare awaken the prime. You, a human, are not meant to carry this power.
So it's an argument based on worthiness?
Or unworthiness. It sees humanity as intrinsically weak, fragile, temporary. It's trying to define Ethan by his limitations.
And it backs that up immediately with both physical and mental force. Physically, an energy pulse splits trees, sets the forest floor on fire.
But the most devastating move is the mental assault, that overwhelming wave of memory.
And this is where the source really gives us a window into the stakes.
It really is. He's just flooded with the Guardian's memories. We're talking visions of ancient Guardians, the collapse of entire galaxies, falling cities of light.
Countless lives lost over eons.
Yeah, and he just groans. Too much.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just pain, it's the intellectual and emotional exhaustion of billions of years of cosmic history trying to fit into one human mind.
The Guardian is basically asserting its dominance through sheer, uncontainable historical weight.
It's saying, you are a single moment, a brief candle, trying to hold the power of an eternal ocean.
But right before he completely breaks, Alira steps in, the human anchor.
She injects her own calm energy into him and gives him this critical piece of advice.
She redirects his focus, tells him to focus on us, on what you feel, not the power itself.
And then she delivers the narrative's entire counter-argument in one line. You have a heart that they do not.
Okay, now I have to stop you there. Because, doesn't that sound a little cliche? When you're facing literal exploding stars, a heart versus cosmic antiquity and raw prime energy, how does the source justify that?
That's a brilliant question.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the core thematic point of the source. The Guardian has a consciousness, right? But it's defined by memory and by duty, not by choice, not by empathy.
So its history is just maintaining stability through rigid control.
Precisely. So Alira's advice isn't about being sentimental. It's about defining purpose. The heart represents self-determination, ethical restraint, the ability to choose how the power is used, rather than just being a slave to its historical mandate.
And that's the moment he pivots.
That's the pivot, from being a vessel to becoming an agent.
Which brings us right into segment 3, the choice and the merge. We see Ethan absorb that lesson. And what strikes me is that the Guardian, it actually stops its attack for a moment.
It's arrested by it.
Yeah.
By the presence of true resistance, not physical strength, but intellectual and ethical clarity. Ethan closes his eyes, gathers that blue energy around him, and he makes his declaration.
Prime me, and I choose how this power is used.
It's revolutionary, and you see the Guardian's own reaction. It's just intrigued and thinks, this human resists.
How? This creature of ancient power just can't comprehend the idea of self-imposed limitation?
Right, it's the difference between seizing power and regulating it. Alira pushes him further. She knows the only way to win isn't to defeat the power, but to integrate it on human terms.
So he extends his hands.
And the blue light surges toward the Guardian, connecting with its energy wings. And this is not a simple blast of energy. It's the start of a cosmological negotiation.
And the source gives us that perfect summation of the moment. Human heart and cosmic memory intertwined, pulsing in harmony.
And this synergy, it causes an instantaneous global reaction. A massive shockwave erupts. It's forceful enough to knock over the Wardens' ships that are still hovering kilometers above them.
Cirrus, watching this, she confirms how unprecedented it is. She says it's merging. He's merging with the core.
And he's demonstrating that control isn't about raw force. It's about balance. The ultimate result is that the prime energy is restrained by choice. And the first thing he does with this merged power is purely defensive. His aura just expands, reflecting every blast from the frustrated Wardens, creating this perfectly stable, safe zone.
Which leads us directly to the implications in segment 4. This didn't end with one side destroying the other. It ended in the transformation of both.
Both of them. The core guardian, this ancient, monstrous entity of pure energy, it shifts its form.
It becomes almost humanoid in appearance.
And its voice, which used to sound like exploding stars, becomes softer, older, wiser. It accepts the new reality. It recognizes Ethan as a paradox, human yet eternal.
And it concludes he might be the balance we sought.
Which is the ultimate concession, right? The ancient rigid power structure admits that its whole philosophy of control was incomplete, that humanity provides this missing ethical component.
And Ethan uses that moment of acceptance to establish his new mandate, the terms of his power.
He states it so clearly. I will protect Earth, but I will not hurt anyone to prove it. That ethical boundary is the very first act of the new Guardian.
And the response is equally profound.
The core Guardian immediately sends out this stabilizing waves of energy across the whole planet. It repairs large areas that were affected by the Vault's explosion earlier. This is power used not for violence, but for remediation, for stability.
Which confirms his ethical choices were the right ones.
And for the universe, beneficial ones.
This moment also fundamentally resolves the internal conflict for Cirrus. She helps stabilize the energy fields and then admits, perhaps humans are stronger than I thought.
Her loyalty, which was once just organizational, it shifts. It becomes about ethical alignment. And when Elia questions her, Cirrus offers this beautiful summation of the whole theme.
Even loyalty has limits. And even Guardians deserve a chance to choose.
Her redemption is tied directly to the freedom of choice that Ethan just asserted. The source material ends with that cosmic acceptance. The core Guardian ascends, acknowledging and integrating Earth into its protection. The link endures in perfect balance.
And the power is now defined, not for conquest, not for war, but for choice, for protection, and for the first time, freedom.
Exactly.
So if we connect all this to the bigger picture, the core insight here is that when this inherited, rigid power meets emergent, self-determined ethics, the result isn't mutual destruction, it's a higher form of synthesis.
The merging created a new Guardian, one defined by moral restraint, not just cosmic magnitude.
So what does this all mean?
It means the greatest act of power Ethan achieved was his willingness to define his own limitations, which proves that restraint is maybe the most powerful force in the cosmos.
The source ends quietly, though. Ethan is exhausted but secure, the glowing marks on his skin are dimming, and he and Alira just walk out, ready to face the unknown together.
A very quiet ending for a galactic-level confrontation.
But the narrative leaves us with one last intriguing detail. A reminder that the universe is a vast and complicated place. Far away, distant alien observers are recording everything, and they note, the human has awakened fully. Prepare to watch closely. He may change everything.
Which just elevates the stakes dramatically, doesn't it? If the entire universe is now watching the choice and ethical restraint of one merged human, what level of power and responsibility does it truly take to ensure freedom?
And what traditional assumptions about leadership, that might or that ancient power always trumps the new, what does this human paradox challenge on a galactic stage?
That's the question we'll leave you with, as Ethan begins his real journey.
Okay, let's just dive right in. We're dropping into a moment where the stakes are not just high, they're cosmic. And it's all happening against this frantic, ticking clock.
It really is. We've got these sources detailing a critical, just life or death moment for the character Ethan.
Right. His human body is failing. I mean, it just fundamentally cannot contain this unstable energy connection they call the link.
And the power is described as being, meant for beings far stronger than him. It's a complete mismatch.
What's so effective here is that it's not just his crisis. His companion, Alira, is tapped right into it.
Oh, completely. The sources say she feels every single surge, describing it like their hearts were beating together, but one was starting to fail.
Wow. So it's not just observation for her, it's a shared physical agony.
Exactly. It's signaling that his whole system is just on the verge of a total catastrophic overload.
And in the middle of all this, she's frantically doing research. She pulls out her data cube, this alien screen unfolds, and the news is, well, it's bad.
It's the worst possible news. The data is unanimous.
Yeah.
No human had ever survived a full Guardian bond. It's never happened.
An unsustainable existence. So that impossibility is what forces their hand, right?
It has to. Any kind of conventional fix is off the table. They have to pivot to this almost suicidal long shot.
The Guardian Vault.
The one solution left. To find the Guardian Vault hidden beneath your planet's surface.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to trace this journey, look at the irony of this vault being on Earth of all places, and then the activation.
and the truly shocking identity crisis that comes out of it.
And all while these huge external threats, Cirrus and the Wardens, are closing in fast, this whole thing, it starts as a survival mission.
Like it turns into an accidental planet-shaking resurrection. Alir is basically hoping that the cure for too much alien power is, well, an even older source of alien power.
Let's start with the physical reality of it, because it's so visceral. Ethan is literally melting down from the inside out.
You can see it on him. The marks on his arms are spreading up his neck.
Yeah. And they're glowing under his skin, described as like rivers of light. It's the energy trying to burn its way out of him.
And that glow is a massive liability. It's a beacon. Alira knows they only have a few hours, tops.
Which makes the destination so critical. She explains the vault is on Earth because, as she puts it, our people visited this world long ago.
They left things behind. Fragments of the old network, pieces of the core. So Earth has been a cosmic storage locker this whole time.
An incredible bit of forgotten history. But Alira is so clear about the gamble here. This vault is not a hospital.
Not at all. She lays it out for him. It could either stabilize your link
or destroy it completely. It's life or instant annihilation, a 50-50 shot.
Which really highlights her desperation. Doing nothing is a guaranteed death sentence.
Yeah.
This is at least a chance.
And as they get closer to the location, the world around them starts to change.
The sources describe it so well. The trees, their bark turns black and smooth. The ground itself starts to, pulse faintly under their feet.
The planet is vibrating with the power that's hidden there.
Yeah, that environmental bleed confirms it. They are standing right on top of a massive active energy source, a nexus for the core.
And in the entrance, Alira uses this circle of glowing symbols on the ground.
And this huge metallic door, just covered in ancient runes, slowly rises out of the soil.
It hits Ethan then, this realization that this thing was forgotten by humans, protected by time. We've been living on top of a loaded gun for millennia.
So they get inside.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is just electric.
Literally. The air is described as being thick with energy. The walls are alive with light that's shifting like water.
Then Alira explains just how important this place is. It connects directly to the core, the heart of all Guardian links.
So it's not just some outpost. It's the main server room for their entire civilization's power grid.
Which is why the risk is so absolute.
And right in the center of it all is the artifact they came for, the heart of the vault.
A large crystal just floating above a platform, glowing this faint blue color. This is supposed to be the solution.
But this is where it all goes wrong. Horribly wrong.
The plan fails catastrophically. The core reacts, but it's too fast, it's too violent.
The second Ethan gets close, those rivers of light on his arms just flare white hot, and the crystal explodes in light.
He's lifted off the ground screaming, as the system just bypasses any kind of gradual process and tries to integrate them all at once.
And he gets this massive, instantaneous download, thousands of years of memories.
Yeah, the sources say he sees these images flashing past, cities made of light, alien stars.
And strange beings bowing before a figure that looked like him.
It's like a king's memories being forced into a normal person's head.
Alira is at the console, frantically trying to stop it, to slow it down, but it is way too late. The system is running its own protocol now.
And then the scream just cuts off. His voice changes.
It becomes calm, deeper, not his own. Chilling.
And it delivers this final verdict. Guardian protocol restored. Core link established.
The human operating system has just been overwritten. The mission failed. It more than failed. A completely new entity has woken up, and the vault knows it. The lights, they don't stay blue. They snap to this violent warning red.
And that's the confirmation. This was a catastrophic miscalculation. A mechanical, ancient voice just echoes everywhere. Unauthorized activation detected. Guardian Prime has returned.
Unauthorized. So the system recognizes that this isn't supposed to happen. Who or what is Guardian Prime?
He's not just any Guardian. He's the first most powerful Guardian in history, the one who vanished eons ago. A figure of legend.
So the vault didn't stabilize Ethan?
No, it was just a trigger. It detected Ethan's compatible, unstable link and used it as a vessel to release the essence of the Prime that was stored in the core.
And you see it physically, his eyes open and they're glowing, solid blue. No pupils, just light.
And when he speaks, his voice has two tones. One is human, Ethan's, but the other is this deep, hollow, ancient sound.
It's not a possession, it's a fusion.
Exactly. And the Prime's consciousness asserts itself immediately. That deeper voice says the Prime never dies, it only waits for a vessel.
The vault itself starts reacting to him, to his authority. Old machines hum to life, projecting these holograms of forgotten battles and alien worlds.
He's validating his return. And Alira, she realizes what she's done. She's unleashed a monster trying to save her friend.
She runs to the console, tries to shut it down, but it's too late. The screen just flashes a message. Access locked, Guardian Prime override.
He's in charge now. The very system designed to contain this power is now being controlled by it.
So she tries one last desperate thing. She connects to him through the link, trying to force some kind of balance back.
And the memories she sees are just horrifying.
Yeah.
A battlefield in space, thousands of Guardians dying.
And this towering figure of light who has to be Prime, standing alone against a storm of machines, and then just darkness.
And that memory, it's not just history, it's a forecast. It confirms Ethan was chosen because the core found him compatible. He's not just a host.
He is becoming him. That human part of him is being actively erased.
And just then, the universe responds. The entire vault shakes violently. There's an explosion from the surface.
Cirrus's ship. It's arrived.
And not just Cirrus. Warden soldiers are already surrounding the entrance. Their leader gives the command, "Contain the vault. The Prime must not escape."
They know exactly who he is. They recognize this is a planet-level emergency.
Oh, absolutely. And the contingency plan is brutal. The commander says if containment fails,
then we will bury the entire site. They're willing to wipe out a huge chunk of Earth just to stop him.
Which tells you everything you need to know about what Prime is capable of. But the power is already awake. It's instinctive now.
Alarms are blaring. Turrets are unfolding from the walls.
And Ethan, or the Prime, he just raises his hand. No effort at all.
And a massive blue barrier forms around them, blocking everything. The power is already his to command.
So what a chain of events. The plan to save one person's life has resulted in the resurrection of the most feared entity in their history.
Triggering this massive military response from two different factions at once.
And that's the real synthesis, isn't it? Ethan Cole isn't just a human with an alien power anymore. He's this fused consciousness, remembering a war that ended eons ago.
And as the Prime's voice said, the war that ended among the stars will begin here. He is now the catalyst.
Which leaves us with a really provocative thought. I mean, since the vault connects directly to the core, and Prime's essence was just waiting there for a compatible vessel, what does that mean for the whole planet?
What are the implications for a world that's been sitting on fragments of this ancient cosmic power network all this time? Because one man's life was in danger, is Earth now destined to become the new battlefield for a forgotten interstellar war?
Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever thought stargazing was, a quiet hobby, and you're about to have your entire universe shattered. Today, we're analyzing the sources on what happened when one man in a small town called Redvale, well, he accidentally triggered a cosmic emergency. He went from just a curious civilian to basically the most wanted target in the galaxy. Instantly.
And you have a really dense stack of material here. It details that first moment of contact, which was completely accidental, and then this immediate, really bizarre interspecies link that forms, and the biological stakes that follow are just shocking. So our mission for you, the learner, is to quickly unpack the rules of this new connection. And maybe more critically, to dissect the fatal flaws hidden inside it, this Guardian link.
Okay, let's jump right in. So the story starts with a man named Ethan Cole. He's looking through his telescope, and it's not a falling star that gets his attention. It's something unnatural, a flash of green light that doesn't just fall. It stops, dead stop. And this does this rapid zigzag and just vanishes.
And right after, there's a smell. That's the key. He smells this strange metallic scent in the air, like ozone.
Right, so that confirms it. This is something foreign.
Exactly. So his investigation pulls him into the nearby woods, and that's where he finds the wreckage. It's a metallic craft, maybe the size of a car, half buried in the dirt. And it's not dead. It's emitting these flickering sparks and a sort of nervous blue light.
And then someone emerges from that wreckage, Alira. The source material is incredibly specific about her. She's described as having this soft, silver glowing skin. Her hair is like shimmering threads of light, and she's wearing a uniform of flexible metal plates.
And her eyes are just bright, startling green. Her voice, too, is unsettling. It's calm, but it's described as two tones speaking at the same time.
So she explains the crash was an accident she identifies as Zenari. But the real crisis doesn't happen with the crash. It happens when she takes shelter in Ethan's house.
Right, and this is where we get that moment of, well, almost comedy, a total culture clash that becomes the catalyst for everything. Alira is just transfixed by a comedy show on his TV.
Yeah, that specific moment. A girl in the sitcom playfully sits on a boy's lap, And Alira, with total sincerity, asks, is this a ritual?
It's perfect. It shows just how little she understands about, basic human interaction, casual intimacy.
Ethan laughs it off.
Yeah.
But then she applies the query directly. She mimics the ritual. She sits on his lap. And that physical act, that's a trigger.
Immediately, the room just reacts violently. The air pulses with blue light. There's this low, intense humming sound. The lamps start flickering like crazy.
And the truly terrifying part is what happens to him physically. Symbols, the exact same ones that were on her ship, they start to glow faintly on his arms and neck, like they're being burned onto him.
Then the lights go out completely, and a deep voice echoes. Not out loud, but inside their minds, it says. Guardian link confirmed.
The Guardian link. So this is way more than just a psychic bond.
Oh, much more. The link connects Alira to her race's chosen guardian, but she's instantly terrified because Ethan is the wrong person. He's not supposed to exist in this role.
What does that mean, not supposed to exist?
Those marks, the symbols on his skin, they belong to the protectors. Ancient, engineered beings from her race created specifically for this.
So the terror isn't that he linked, it's that he linked wrong.
Precisely. He's wearing the marks of these incredibly powerful beings, but he's just a man. It's a cosmic violation.
And a violation that loud doesn't go unnoticed.
Not at all. Alira says the link sent out a massive energy signature, a beacon. And she warns him that hunters are already on their way following that signal, and that they will destroy anything in their path. So in a split second, he goes from amateur astronomer to a universal target.
They try to run, but of course that's not an option. The hunters strike, crash their vehicle in the forest, and it's here that the full horrifying weight of this thing hits them.
Yeah, she tells him point blank, the link cannot be broken now. This is the highest stake. If one of them dies,
The other one dies too.
his life is completely intrinsically bound to hers. Their survival is mutual. It's non-negotiable.
So retreat has failed. Alira has to initiate what the sources call the power mechanism. She grabs his hand, tells him he has to channel the energy, but there's a critical instruction.
Right. She says he has to focus on protecting, not on fighting. It has to be a purely defensive intent.
Which is an interesting detail.
It is. It raises a question, doesn't it? If you're facing interstellar hunters who want to eradicate you, why is the core function of this ultimate weapon purely defensive? You have to wonder if that's a design flaw in the Guardian tech itself, relying only on defense.
That's a great point. But for now, the defense works perfectly. He channels this surge of brilliant blue energy, and it forms a shield around them. It absorbs and just completely reflects an incoming red blast from one of the alien drones.
But that drone was just a scout, a probe, and that defensive blast is what draws out the main antagonist, the Warden.
A massive armored ship descends, and this towering armored figure emerges.
Alira panics. She identifies him as an enforcer of the Zenari Empire. But we learn it's more complicated. This isn't just a standard Zenari threat. This specific Warden now serves a darker order that's trying to get control over this ancient Guardian technology.
So there's a civil war element happening, and Ethan's just landed in the middle of it.
Exactly. The Warden basically confirms their fate, threatens to erase them both for linking with a human, and he fires this massive beam of destructive red energy at them.
And this is the moment. This is the key insight of the entire deep dive.
He instinctively raises his hands, the blue shield appears again, but it does something different this time.
It doesn't just block it.
No, it doesn't absorb or reflect it. He taps into something more. He sends the Warden's own beamwhack at him.
Amplified.
Yes, amplified. It forces this massive armored figure to actually retreat, wounded and roaring.
So what does that mean? He broke the rule. That wasn't defense, that was a counterattack.
That is the central insight here. Ethan isn't just a host. His human biology is acting as an amplifier. He did something, weaponizing and returning a directed energy attack that the sources imply even a trained Zenari protector could never do.
His anomaly isn't just that he exists in this role. It's his immediate, overpowered capability.
Alira's reaction says it all. She just stares at him completely shocked and whispers, "No human has ever done that."
He's a cosmic weapon, but a volatile one. And that brings us to the internal cost, the biological price.
They manage to hide out in an abandoned cabin. Alira sets up some kind of perimeter device. And that euphoria from surviving the Warden, it fades pretty quickly as Ethan starts to feel the internal price.
He says the marks on his skin are burning, that they feel alive.
And Alir confirms his worst fear. This isn't just some magical connection, it is a full genetic takeover. She says the connection is actively rewriting his body. Her words are, the Guardian DNA merges with yours.
Enhancing his strength, speed, all of it.
Right, but we have to dissect that. There's the magic aspect, the link responding to intent, not anger. He can feel her fear, her warmth, that psychic connection is fast. But the genetic aspect, that DNA merger, it's violent. The burning sensation suggests his human body is resisting, or, failing under the strain of being rewritten.
And while they're trying to figure this all out, Alira drops another bombshell. The cosmic network.
The link didn't just send a signal to the hunters, it sent one to the core, which is an ancient network that monitors all Guardians across the entire galaxy.
So they're not just exposed to this one faction.
No. They're exposed to ancient, unknown entities, potentially other, more predatory species who might want to use him as a way to access Guardian tech. The danger is now universal.
And just as they're trying to absorb the scale of that threat, the biggest twist arrives. The perimeter barrier flickers, the cabin door bursts open, and in walks Alira's twin sister.
Circe.
Who looks completely different. Violet skin, cold gold eyes, and she is aligned with the Wardens.
And she's here to provide the cold, biological counter-truth to Alira's belief in destiny and fate. She says the link isn't a blessing. It's a curse that's going to destroy them both.
And she gives them the fatal prophecy. It's all about biological incompatibility. She says, when the link stabilizes, it consumes the weaker host. And that no human can contain Guardian power for long.
Which creates a paradox, right? If the link chose Ethan based on destiny, why is that same destiny fundamentally incompatible with his human biology?
To really drive the point home, she projects this horrifying hologram.
It's a human body just filled with this aggressive blue energy burning from the inside out, autocombustion. It confirms the genetic merger isn't leading to stability, it's leading to death.
And the consequence is immediate for Ethan. He's hit with this searing, intense pain.
The light under his skin starts flickering wildly. He loses consciousness. It seems to confirm everything Circe just warned them about.
So the terrifying question is just laid bare. Is the link truly fatal to the human host, no matter what, regardless of destiny or power?
And Circe leaves with this cold warning. She tells her sister, if you really care for him, you have to end the link before it kills him.
But ending the link would
kill them both instantly. The ticking clock is no longer an external threat. It's happening inside Ethan's own cells.
What an absolutely astonishing series of events, all unfolding in what sounds like a single night. So you, the learner, you began this deep dive with us looking at a simple trip into the woods. And you've emerged with this complex knowledge of a man who is now a cosmically bound weapon, who is also potentially doomed by the very energy that's sustaining him.
We've really distilled the critical knowledge here. Ethan's unprecedented power comes from his human physiology acting as an amplifier. He's defying the Zanari design. We understand the Warden's role, the threats from the cosmic core, and most importantly, we've analyzed that terrifying paradox from Circe. The Guardian DNA merger is fatally destabilizing the human host. Destiny and biology are at war.
It sounds like Alir's heart chose the man, but Zanari's science dictated his death sentence.
Which brings us to a final important question for you to think about, building on what Circe said. She said the link has to stabilize to kill Ethan. So does that imply there's a window, a period of time for Alira to somehow manipulate that merger process before it stabilizes? And what resource or, what desperate measure will she have to risk to slow or reverse that biological takeover, especially knowing that any failure means instant death for them both? That, I think, is the ultimate test of their bond.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're not easing into the material at all. We're dropping you straight into an immediate, high-stakes, first contact event.
And one where accidental destiny gets forged in, a matter of minutes? It's incredibly fast.
It is. We've got this fantastic source document, a narrative excerpt that details this. Just bizarre and explosive moment of contact. So our mission today is to really extract that sequence of events, the one that turns a totally normal guy into something, well, ancient and powerful.
And more importantly, I think, to figure out the cosmic implications of that change being triggered by, of all things, a complete misunderstanding.
Exactly. That's the core of it. We're tracking the collision between this, highly advanced alien protocol and
just completely unpredictable, casual human nature.
Precisely. So let's set the scene. We're in Red Veil. It's a small, quiet town. Our protagonist is Ethan Cole.
And he's just a regular guy. He's not a scientist or anything. He just loves space, sits in his backyard with his telescope.
He's the definition of an ordinary person, the baseline.
Yeah, and the sources tell us the night was already subtly wrong. Before anything even happened, the sky was a bit too bright.
And that strange metallic scent in the air.
It's that perfect foreshadowing, that feeling that the world's physics are just, a little bit out of tune.
And then Ethan sees it. A sudden flash of green light.
But it doesn't act like a meteor or anything we'd recognize.
No, not at all. It's too fast, too bright, and then it just stops. Dead still.
It zigzags.
And then vanishes into the forest. He knows right then this isn't a satellite. This is intelligent movement.
And what stands out to me is how his curiosity just completely overrides any sense of danger.
Oh, instantly.
He grabs his gear and just runs toward it, into this forest where the air is suddenly colder, the mist is thick. He's just pursuing the anomaly.
Which brings him to the crash site. And he finds this vessel.
Described as metallic, about the size of a car.
Yeah, and half buried, sparks flickering everywhere. This was not a controlled landing. This was a definite systems failure.
And that failure state is so critical. You've got this small ship humming with energy, a faint blue light coming from inside.
And as he gets closer, the door just hisses open.
With a puff of cool mist, yeah.
Amen.
It confirms this isn't just a visitor. This is a survivor.
And out steps Alira.
The description in the source is, it's pretty striking.
It really is. We're talking about silver, glowing skin, hair like threads of light, this flexible metal uniform.
But despite all that advanced aesthetic, it's her eyes. They're bright green, but they're just filled with confusion and distress.
And her first words really just cut through everything, don't they?
They do. Planet, Earth.
It confirms the scale of this. She's disoriented, she's crashed, and she's a very, very long way from home.
So Ethan, bless his heart, he tries to do the normal human thing.
He introduces himself. She says her name is Alira, explains the ship is damaged.
So he offers his hand, a simple handshake.
And here's where we pivot from a polite, if strange meeting to a massive protocol-breaking disaster.
All because of that handshake. She just studies his hand, clearly has no idea what the gesture means, and then she just copies it.
In the moment their skin touches, there's a spark.
Yeah.
A little flash of energy.
Right. And Alira is totally dismissive. She says something like, just energy transfer, normal contact.
Normal contact. But for Ethan, his hand is tingling with this intense warmth that's spreading up his arm.
Let's just unpack that phrase for a second. Normal contact.
Yeah.
If a simple greeting for her species involves an actual energy transfer, what does that say about their baseline existence?
It implies their social interactions are energetic, maybe even psychic in a way we just can't comprehend.
Exactly. For her, it's like breathing. For Ethan, it's a fundamental violation of physics.
But he's so focused on just helping her, getting this person out of the cold, that he kind of files it away as weird alien stuff.
He ignores a huge warning sign and brings her back to his house.
Which leads us to, I think, my favorite part of this deep dive.
The culture clash.
Oh, it's perfect. Alira, this pilot of an advanced starship, is completely mystified by the simplest human things.
She treats an old hoodie like it's some kind of ancient artifact.
But the real catalyst is the television.
Of course it is. Tuned to a late-night sitcom, and this right here is the linchpin of universal destiny.
It really is. A scene plays out where a girl sits on a boy's lap as part of some joke.
And Alira, who has no context for humor or casual physical affection, sees this action.
And she asks, completely seriously, is this a ritual?
She's trying to interpret slapstick comedy as if it's some profound formal ceremony.
And Ethan is probably laughing at how absurd it is. And he just tells her, no, it's just a joke. Humans do silly things.
But her analytical mind, it compels her to replicate the action, to understand it.
And that's the moment. She smiles, and without any warning, she just sits down on Ethan's lap.
Perfectly replicating the ritual from the TV. It is the ultimate collision of advanced protocol and just human chaos.
And the atmosphere just explodes. The air pulses with this intense blue light.
A low, powerful humming fills the room. The lamps are flickering.
And Ethan feels this physical rush of energy hit his chest. He describes it like something inside him being unlocked, violently.
This isn't a little spark anymore. This is the immediate, non-negotiable activation of the Guardian Link.
The visual confirmation is terrifying. Symbols, the exact same ones from her ship, they start to glow on Ethan's arms and neck.
And you see Alira's terror. She jumps up, staring at him, whispering that it's impossible.
And then comes the final confirmation.
Yeah.
The power surge stops. The house goes silent.
And a deep voice, a voice that isn't coming from anywhere in the room, echoes inside both of their minds.
Guardian Link confirmed.
Chilling, and Alira's immediate analysis is just, devastating for her.
She confirms it's the connection between my kind and our chosen guardian.
But the real terror, the insight we need to focus on, is her conviction that Ethan
Wasn't supposed to exist.
What does that even mean? It implies these protectors, the beings with these symbols, are chosen.
Right, from a specific genetic line or civilization.
Yeah.
A controlled process.
And Ethan, this random guy from Redvale, is a fatal glitch in their entire cosmic defense system.
And he feels it immediately. The sources say his senses just sharpened.
Yeah.
Instantly.
He can hear the electricity humming in the walls.
He can feel the vibration from her crashed ship miles away in the forest. He went from amateur stargazer to a sentient antenna in a split second.
And that shift is key. The activation wasn't symbolic, it was structural. It instantly rewrote his biology.
This proves the protector status isn't some new tech. It's a foundational biological connection.
A connection that is immediately put to the test.
Because that activation, it didn't happen in a vacuum, did it? It sent out a massive energy signature.
And that signature was tracked.
So we go from this moment of anthropological curiosity straight to a confrontation. A loud bang shakes the whole house.
Windows rattle. Alira's face turns what's described as a pale silver. She knows exactly what that sound is.
They've been found.
She touches a symbol on her wrist, and this little hologram map appears, showing these red dots just closing in on their position, fast.
The hunters. Alien threats tracking the link energy. And they're here to destroy it and its new carrier.
The irony is just staggering. She finds this impossible link only for its activation to immediately gain a target on both their backs.
And before they can even process it, she hits Ethan with the ultimate consequence.
The bond is indissoluble. She tells him, "Wherever I go, you must go too."
Their lives are now connected, if one of them dies.
The other dies too. A misunderstanding about a sitcom gag has created a non-negotiable cosmic life insurance policy where they both share all the risk.
It's just, the stakes escalate so fast, they rush outside to escape in Ethan's truck.
The human machine, which Alira, the starship pilot, is somehow fascinated by.
There's that great role reversal. She's looking at his beat-up truck with the same awe he had for her ship.
But the escape doesn't last long. The pursuit is terrifying because it's silent. 3 black ships just gliding over the trees.
One of them fires a pulse of bright light, hits the truck.
Throws it off balance, and they crash straight into the trees. They're trapped. The hunters are closing in.
And this is where the dynamic shifts again. Alira moves past panic.
Right into pure operational focus. She tells Ethan he has to trust her.
And she explains the immediate function of the link. He is the conduit.
His body, this random, ordinary human body, can now channel her advanced energies. It's their only chance to survive.
And this is the payoff for that whole accidental transformation. Alira puts her hand on his chest.
Right where that first energy rush hit him.
And a surge of blue energy just explodes around them. It's powerful enough to crack the forest floor.
The Guardian is fully online. Those protector symbols on his body, they spread and brighten, wrapping him completely in light.
And that energy forms a shield. A blue protective dome around them both.
Just as the hunters arrive, the cosmic defense system, designed for some ancient warrior, is now being wielded by a guy in a flannel shirt.
All because of a misunderstood sitcom joke. It is a truly remarkable arc.
Incredible.
We started with Ethan Cole, just a guy looking at the stars, and we end with him inside an energy shield, ready to face an alien army.
All because he was friendly.
He offered a handshake and didn't realize how literally an alien might interpret a gag about personal space. The knowledge we've taken away today is really about the staggering fragility of first contact.
And the sheer speed of unintended destiny.
Yeah.
And that really is the final provocative thought to leave you with. Think about the massive, intentional effort that must go into selecting a guardian.
Right, a cosmic election.
Yeah.
Planned for centuries, probably.
Exactly. Yet that entire system was accidentally bypassed and activated by an ordinary human who just, well, he possessed the capacity for casual silliness and misunderstanding.
So in a universe governed by strict protocols and predictable tech.
Is it possible that our fundamental humanity, our capacity for humor, for error, for these friendly, non-ritualistic gestures, is the one variable that these universal systems just can't account for?
Making us the ultimate agents of cosmic chaos.
Something to mull over the next time you're watching a rerun.